my YouTube work to the earliest days of my childhood. When I've engaged in a creative act, even as simple as pencil drawings on the edges of my notebook paper, I have been afraid that if I share my art with anyone, it'll just be a waste of their time. It's one thing to screw up and lose my own time, but it always stings the most when it screws somebody else out of theirs. Maybe you feel this too. Maybe it even seems natural, but the problem is, I know exactly where the source of this fear is, and it is no freaking bueno. As a kid, when I would make mistakes around my parents, most of the time their response was pretty crapola. They usually just get annoyed, and then I'd get punished in one of many unfair ways. Usually to a degree that never really felt consistent with what I actually did. For example, one time I was late getting ready for school, and my mom punched me in the back of the shoulder really hard. And then another time, I punched through a window while I was yelling at my dad, and nothing ever happened. He just fixed the window, and no one said anything to me after that. So, weirdly inconsistent punishment schedule. See, my parents were not really the type to, teach me what I did wrong. They were usually too short-tempered to even try, and when they did, if I didn't get it right away, they'd eventually just lose their temper with me anyways. Plus, their strategy for teaching me what I did wrong was usually to just tell me what is right, from their perspective, but like as if it's God's truth. And if I didn't understand, or worse, I disagreed, they would impose their authority on me and demand that I simply accept that they were right and that I just needed to do as I'm told. Now, I'm not trying to harp on my folks. You gotta forgive and forget this stuff, and I haven't even mentioned all the ways things like the school system and tons of other adults when I was growing up did the exact same thing. But my point is, the fear that I have of wasting people's time, it comes from having lived this life where I couldn't really afford to make mistakes. Because there's this trained sense inside of me that if I do, the people around me are not going to understand, they're not going to be empathetic or compassionate to my situation, and I will be forced into servitude to someone else's authority against my will. I.e., if I can't read minds, I get smacked on the behind. But there's been another experience that I've had over the course of my life, especially in the past decade or so, that is the complete antithesis to that. And it's been slowly eroding this sense of fear as time goes on. And that is, making YouTube videos. You may not know this, but I have made just about every mistake in the book when it comes to being a YouTuber. I've made things that weren't true to myself. I've made promises and then broke them. A lot. I've gone on huge unannounced hiatuses. I've made videos that suck a big bucket of fuck. And after over a decade of trying, I haven't managed to consistently keep an upload schedule going for longer than 1 to 3 months. But in all those years, in hundreds of videos spanning multiple channels, and this is kind of crazy to admit, I have basically never had one complaint. Can you believe that? Not a single YouTube comment, even implying that a video that I made was bad or should have been better, or even like a troll comment trying to get under my skin. And I don't think that's because I'm God's gift to YouTube. I think it's more reflective of just how narrow-minded that I've been in being so afraid of judgment, and how genuinely supportive and encouraging that the average person maybe watching my videos is, or maybe just watching YouTube videos is. Appreciate you guys, by the way. I gotta say, for all of these struggles I've had over the years, it has been a real treat sharing myself with you all. Broadcasting myself, as they say. And maybe that's got something to do with how non-committal of a medium YouTube is. I mean, it's not like you guys are all paying for this video, or you're all the same people watching me now that knew me back when I was 19 making videos of people dancing to Daft Punk in their bedrooms. But to be frank, it's been a healing experience to have this perfect record of support over all these years. It's taught me that the average human being really does just want to see other people succeed. I think it's pretty plain to see that there's a big demand for connection and bonding on the internet, and, in real life too. And that it unfortunately gets constantly manipulated by opportunists looking to make a buck or start a cult. So when someone comes to see me and my work, I take so much care to ensure that I've scrubbed it clean of anything that might be taken as extracting anything out of anyone. That what I'm doing is a purely creative act that is meant to be shared with others, to add value to their life. I had my fun when I was making the video, and now that it's out, it's for other people. It's not for me anymore. So it should be totally for them. That's why you'll never catch me in all of these years, in all of the videos that I've made, interrupting the flow of the video to like talk about sponsors or ask you to join my coffee or the evil triad, because I want you guys to have the best experience possible. And if you choose to engage with my videos in all these secondary ways, I want to make sure that feels organic and not forced. No matter what I'm making, if it's a skit or a video essay or me fucking dancing or a let's play or whatever, I want it to feel like when you watch a video by me, there's no BS you gotta skip or download a browser extension to skip for you. I mean, it's the whole premise of this video, man. I hate wasting people's time. And it's not just because of some latent fear born of childhood trauma. It's because I know what it feels like to be manipulated and have your time wasted by people who don't give a shit about you. Both on this website and in life. I've been on the receiving end of that crap enough to know it benefits no one. So it means the world to me that I have this opportunity to give you something that is worth your time. Or at least like try to craft something that I feel will be. So if you're like me and you're terrified of wasting people's time, part of the reason I made this video is to let you know that that's okay. In all likelihood, you're just a compassionate human being that doesn't want to be selfish in a world where everyone is self-obsessed. But that being said, don't do it because you're afraid. See, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that this video isn't going to be helpful to anyone. I'm afraid that everything I said just now is going to be relatable to like 3 people and everyone else is going to wish they spent however long this video is taking a dump instead. But from your perspective, doesn't that seem silly? Like, who cares? Worst case scenario, you would have just clicked off by now. Anything more would just be unnecessary. See, fear is always worse than the thing that we're afraid of. And that's the real message that I want you to take away here. That fears need to be looked at and challenged thoughtfully. I could have just sided with the fear I had and made nothing today. But what made me want to make a video at all was the fact that something inside of me wanted to, and in response to that, some other part of me thought it was so important not to do that that it decided to profusely object to the point of inaction. Isn't that funny? See, that's how you know something really matters to you. You want to do it, but this whole mountain of anxiety just springs out of nowhere and says, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. That's why people don't know what they want. Because the second they want it, their mind jumps up to just tell them, no, don't do it. And this has always been my preferred way of dealing with fears like that. The moment my mind says no, I do not just play ball. I start asking questions. It's how I keep my mind in check. Because your mind, it might be on your side, but it's not some infallible source of endless wisdom. It's a miraculous recycling machine that spits out amalgamations of the past and tells you it's the future. But if you want to do anything new with your life, grow as a person, experience novel things, you have to know how to say no to your mind. Because if you let it be in charge, all it's going to try to do is keep you safe and warm and comfortable all the time, 24/7. But not only is it never even going to succeed at that because it doesn't control that, it's also going to force you into a life of stagnation, and you will lose all purpose and meaning because you're not doing anything with your life anymore. You're just avoiding all action because no action is technically safe. In order for me to say something in this video that is worth your time, I have to risk saying shit that is wasting your time. And in order for you to listen to a video that is worth your time, you have to risk listening to a video that is not worth your time. See, we both are here with an unspoken agreement to do our best not to waste each other's time. I'm sure you've seen like a YouTube engagement chart because, you know, the grifters love shoving this crap in people's faces to emotionally manipulate them into subscribing. I digress. What I always find funny about these things is this particular graph, because what this says is that usually like 70 to 90% of people can't even pay attention to a video like this for more than 30 seconds. So here's the interesting question. Are they being a responsible viewer? Are they doing their best not to waste our shared time or not? Who's to say? And if it's impossible to know if they're doing it, why should I care what everyone thinks about whether or not I am? At the end of the day, only I know if I'm doing my best. And the truth is, the only thing I have cared about since I started making things for the internet is trying to have as radical booyah hell yeah of a good time as possible. Because I believe that when people enjoy themselves, everyone benefits, especially when you're talking about art or entertainment of any kind. So, have I always succeeded? Fuck no. For all I know, I failed 90% of people in the first 30 seconds of every video I've ever made. And like, I don't know, that's okay. Like I said, the fear of failure is a lot worse than failing. Nothing bad has happened to me in over a decade of being an undeniable, statistically proven net failure. No one's showing up to my door with torches and pitchforks because I said I was going to make a video series I didn't make. No one's sending me threatening emails because I took a year-long hiatus one time. I mean, for God's sake, I legitimately do not even remember getting a critical YouTube comment. There should be gold medals distributed out to everyone who ever disliked my videos for that, because that is an accomplishment in like 13 years. Or, who knows, maybe they had really valuable insight and I missed out on it because of all you grubby yes men out there making an unsafe atmosphere for people to bitch about me. Who's to say, and who gives a good gosh darngle it? I say, let's wrap this up. Thank you all for being here, and don't be afraid to do what you're afraid of. On the other side of our greatest fears is oftentimes our greatest desires. And in my opinion, fuck them both. The fears and the desires. I think they're in cahoots with each other to keep you ping-ponging between extremes so you never realize just how chill life can be when you just stop giving a shit about things that don't matter. Do whatever the hell you like. Fuck fear, be free, and stay connected. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.